this is part 3. I'm doing a little series about my experience with a covert narcissist. And if you haven't seen the first 2 videos, I just learned that that's what I've been living with. And I learned this from a professional. And no, they couldn't diagnose him. It's a DSM-5 diagnosis, and he would have to go in and get, be personally there and seek a diagnosis. But this is someone hearing me relate the stories of what's been going on and confirm that I am not the narcissist and that I was never the narcissist. I got accused of that, and that's where we are in this video series. I talked about the love bombing in the beginning, and then the slow and gradual fade of any kind of emotional connection, and how at the end, in the beginning, we would do everything together, and then toward the end, nothing that interested me interested him, and he didn't care about anything I had to say, written or verbal, or just would not engage with me in any meaningful way, and would get annoyed when I tried. And so I would try harder, and he would get more annoyed. And that's when the gaslighting started, because see, then suddenly it became all my fault. If he was grumpy, if he was irritable, if he wasn't happy in his day or his life, somehow it was my fault because I had not conformed, done what he thought that I should do, or maybe I disrupted him or interrupted him. I got him out of bed too early, or woke him up too early, or asked him to do housework before he was mentally ready to help me sweep the floor. And then he would sweep the floor in just this, like he wouldn't really sweep it. He would take the broom and sweep everything up against the wall and leave the broom in the dustpan sitting there, and the dogs would walk through it, and I would have even a bigger mess to clean up. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He was doing it just out of passive-aggressive spite to hurt me. And I never thought about it that way until it was pointed out to me by a professional. You know what? That's intentional. That doing a terrible job to make your life harder is intentional. He'll do just enough to get you to shut up. And so we were at that part. And then turn it all around on me. If I get upset about it, if I make these demands on him, if I expect him to step up and do his part in our life, if I expect him to participate in real life, I'm the narcissist, you see. I'm the one who has to place all these demands and have all these expectations. And if I get upset and hysterical and start yelling at him, I'm the abuser. I'm the abusive one. And he's the victim. Oh, he's taken, and he even made posts on his Facebook about living with a narcissist and financial narcissism and how to share finances with a narcissist. Gaslight me. Like I was the one doing all of this stuff. And when in fact it was the abnormality of communication, the complete breakdown of being able to communicate. When he wanted to talk to me, buddy, I had to drop everything, and I couldn't even look at the computer screen or he'd lose his mind. And yet when I tried to talk to him, number one, he'd get up and walk off in the middle of a conversation, or start playing on his phone, or tell me that he just couldn't deal with that right now. And then he'd go away and shut me out. And heaven forbid I try to disturb his peace or whatever. I would get gaslit because I was the hysterical abuser narcissist, because I expected a partner. I expected someone to help me with the housework. I expected someone to help me with the everyday life things like paying bills and taxes and that sort of thing. And I supported us on my SSDI since 2018, and yet somehow I wasn't valid in the financial aspect of the relationship. He didn't work. He didn't have a job. And I was supporting him with my SSDI. I'm repeating that because hear what I'm saying. He had to exhaust his savings during the pandemic. And yet I was supporting us with our income, but my financial contribution and financial losses were irrelevant. Gaslighting. After a while you start to wonder if maybe you did take advantage of this person or hurt this person, because they're always the victim, you see, and they can never take accountability for their own actions. Heaven forbid I ever suggest to him that maybe he was the reason his money disappeared, that he How do you expect to have money if you don't work, if you don't have an income? But yet I was the problem. And so this started to chip away, and it eroded, the relationship. And I didn't realize I was living with a covert narcissist. I had an impression of narcissists that was not what I was seeing. I mean, I thought it might be a touch of the tism, and maybe so, or something to that effect. But I didn't realize it was on purpose until it was too late. And I will get on into that in the next video that I'm going to make. So anyway, I've lost track now. I think I'm on 3. I might be on 4. But I know there's several videos ahead of this one that you need to go see. And there's going to be a video after this one. At least one, maybe 2. So anyway, trying to keep them short.